Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining this next session today. I'm here with Adam from RealEye, and before I kick it over to him, just a few reminders. You can put any questions in that Q&A box. We'll get to all the questions at the end and kind of have Adam walk through them. So we'll just save all the questions for the end, but you can pop them in there as we go throughout the session so you don't forget anything. And then anything you want to put in the chat box, any questions, any technical difficulties, you can pop those there, and I will get back to them as soon as I can. With that, Adam, I will go ahead and just hand it over to you.
Okay. Hello. Hi, everyone. My name is Adam, and I represent a company called RealEye, reeleye.io. RealEye is an online platform for running neuromarketing research in web browser. And by neuromarketing research, I mean several different, let's say, sub-tools. We mostly specialize in providing eye tracking data using webcams, just like the one I'm talking to you right now, but I'm going to talk about it in a minute. So first of all, my presentation today, basically this is more of a hands-on type of, let's say, webinar. So in a minute, I'm just going to share my screen and show you how to create such a study, how to participate in such a study to create basically the flow of a product concept research. But before we do that, just several slides. So first of all, I would like a bit about the online versus offline approach of running such studies, especially quantitative studies. Then we're going to jump into the live participation link. So I'm going to transform myself into a panelist so we will all see how it works. Then we're going to go and create a study. Actually, we're just going to see how the study was created on the presentation and in the platform. And then we're going to jump into the data analysis. Then obviously the Q&A part. And as we mentioned, you can already leave the questions in the chat. So a few words about the company. So we're already 6 years on the market. We launched in 2017. We're already trusted by companies and universities from all over the world, including brands like Procter & Gamble, Decision Insight, Ipsos, also universities like SWPS or Stanford. Our tests are being handled in over 25 languages right now. And basically right now there's probably at least several dozens of panelists running through our platform, leaving tracking data. So basically on a daily basis, we collect like between 1,000 to 3,000 results from literally all over the world. And I think that's a huge advantage to line, because it means that this platform actually works all over the world and that the results can be collected no matter if you are in what region of the world you are. It will work and it's going to bring you some data to analyze. Okay, but first let's narrow the problem. So why we created this tool, why we created this solution, and why our customers are using it. So let's just imagine that we have to conduct an eye tracking experiment, eye tracking research with 20 stimuli with additional questionnaires, and present it to 100 participants. So to run a typical quantitative research. So here are our options. So the first option for running an eye tracking research is a purchase expensive hardware. The data collection would be rather slow and offline. And since it's offline, you can only allow yourselves to have offline panelists. So let's say regional panelists from the same town or region, and basically the entire setup might be hard to use. That of course depends on the tools and the licenses, but basically there are several different, let's say, platforms to arrange. But the worst case about it is that you will need to wait, let's say, at least 2 weeks for the data. And we as a scientist, we as a researchers, we really love the data and would rather play with the data than collect it. Why 2 weeks? Let's imagine that we can handle 10 panelists a day offline. So 10 panelists, 10 days equals 2 working weeks. So we are here to present you with other approach to addressing such a situation. So our tool allows you to convert webcams from tablets, smartphones, or desktops into a data collectors. So thanks to this, the panelists can stay 100% online in their homes, in their environment. And thanks to this, you can run hundreds of in parallel. So you don't have to wait for the first participant to finish and then invite another. They can all participate in at the same moment. Therefore, you can have the results really immediately. Also, the entire setup is more cost effective. And the best thing out of it is, and you will have the results even today, or it depends basically on your panel. By the way, we can also support you with the panel providers, as we are connected to several already. Of course, there are some downsides of using webcam eye trackers versus the typical USB plugged in eye trackers. So webcam will never be as accurate as hardware. We like to say that the typical hardware eye trackers are like a letter size precision. Meanwhile, the webcam based are like a button size precision. So basically, it all depends on your research needs and how you create your stimuli. Basically, how deep, how accurate you need your data to be. So in case you're just looking at people, let's say looking at the labeling at the product, it might be perfectly enough for you to just use the webcam based. Okay, let's just a few words about the platform itself. So as mentioned, webcam eye tracking is just one of the modules. There's also an option to analyze attention based on the eye movements. We call it K coefficient, and it basically tells you whether someone was paying attention or not while looking at certain areas of the screen at certain moment, based on the fixation and saccadic eye movements. These are the two types of eye movements that can be distinguished in eye tracking research. We do also have a module for facial coding, so we can detect neutral, face state, happiness, and surprise level. Also, we can run reaction time tests that might be pretty useful for doing a product concept testing. I'm going to show you in a minute how to use it. Also, there is an embedded survey module, so there is no need to jump in between our platform and other survey providers. Therefore, there is such an option, but there is no need to do that. And of course, there's the analysis dashboard, so pretty powerful tool that can give you all the answers for the hypothesis that you want to get some findings. And again, this is all under a single license, and is all 100% online, available from any part in the world. And the best thing is that it actually works. So we're not, as mentioned, we are on the market for quite some time, and we've been cooperating with Andrew Duchovsky, who is the author of Eye Tracking Methodology, so-called Eye Tracking Bible, a book of this size. And he is actually using the tool for running research in Korea. That while he is living in the US, quoting RealEye is usable for psychological research. There is a research paper that we together published a year ago on Seattle. That's Andrew and Isaac creates with our research paper. We're really proud of it. That's why I like to show this picture. Also, as mentioned, Stanford is making use of RealEye, but not only the educational part. The best part out of it is that we're learning from educational clients like Stanford, but we're putting all the knowledge and putting in on the commercial market to run research on actual products, actual websites, actual videos. So for instance, there is a nice testimonial from Stefan from Ipsos. Webcam-based eye tracking has a vast potential within market research, and really made a great effort customizing their solution to our needs. So hopefully we'll get more of such nice testimonials after today's session. I will be happy to start some cooperation with any of. But as it with the new technology, there's a place where you need to somehow believe that the product works, and of course, for someone it might feel like magic that only that the eye tracking data can be collected only using webcams. But that's why we are partnering with such an event to show you on your RealEye how this works and how to use the tool. So let me now jump to a study that was created with the RealEye, and I'm going to transform myself into a panelist for a moment. So let's just imagine that me as a panelist, I just got this link from my panel provider, from email or from anywhere else. I just opened this link, and I am being asked to participate in the eye tracking research. So what I need to do is to choose my webcam. It's very important to underline at the current moment that our system never records anything from the cameras or taking any pictures. So everything that is being processed and sent to the servers are the data points of the prediction. Okay, so right now what's happening? I was redirected to a part called calibration. So right now the system learns how my face, my eyes looks like while I'm looking at different parts of the screen. The calibration itself is being performed on 3 different backgrounds, white, black, and gray. This is because the monitor itself is a pretty intense of a light, and the system needs to learn how my face looks in different lighting conditions. In a minute, there's going to be a part called calibration check. So I'll be asked to destroy dots just with my eyes. So these are the dots. My mouse is here, and I'm just looking at the dots. in case I won't be able to do it, I would need to recalibrate. So once we're here, it means that I'm calibrated and I can start doing the tests. So this is the study instruction. Click the product you would purchase. The study starts. And that's the first stimuli. So that's in case the panelist leaves the computer or moves the head too much, something like this being presented, a pop-up asking to go back to the previous position. So what I'm doing right now, I'm browsing with my eyes, more or less looking at my mouse, more or less what I'm looking at, and clicking the product. Have you found the product? Usually purchase. Yes, that's the survey part. Take a look at the following products. So in this case, I'm expecting to just see one product. I'm just browsing my eyes. How much you like the package? I liked it. What are specific features of the product? No sugar, 100% orange juice, pulp-free, non-GMO. That's what I recall. So as you can see, this is the survey part that can give you some idea on how panelists are, let's say, perceiving the product, the labeling. You can ask as many questions as you wish after presenting average stimuli. Which of the brands with similar products you recall? Well, okay, so let's say Mark, that's a Polish brand. Actually, I'm having one just right now. How much would you pay for this product? I don't know, something like that. Now the video advertisement is being presented. Very nice. How would you expect from the product? What would you expect from the product based on the commercial? So is it sweet? Probably rather not. With pulp, I don't know. Fresh, yes. Healthy, seems like. And tasty, rather yes. How much would you pay for this product? Again, so I'm just going to set the same pricing box. Pricing, yes. Take a look at the following advertisement, and here we're going to see an advertisement of such a. I move my head. Probably you can't hear the voice, but it doesn't really matter. It's just a short advertisement that actually I can stop by pressing space bar. That's the option that is enabled. So I'm doing so. Apparently this option is not enabled. Okay. How much you like the advertisement? So again, the survey part, which one you choose for dinner. Let's say Sprite, and that's basically it. So as a panelist, I would need just to fill my demographic data, and the study is done. Let's see what happened from the researcher perspective. So this is the first time you're seeing the dashboard of RealEye tool. And while I'm refreshing the page, we will already see that my results are right over here, graded with the data quality algorithm as perfect. We can see my test flow. So what I was looking at one after another, including my survey answers. And we can see all the eye tracking metrics, eye tracking recordings. So let's just see first of all, the recording. So that's me, that's my eye looking at the planogram. Again, I was trying to look more or less when I was moving my mouse. You can see that my cursor is also visible somewhere here, and my eyes are right over here. And then I clicked the product. Again, here I'm looking at I'm just browsing the concept. Here's the video advertisement. We're not going to look at it again. Here, the attention and emotions bar that can tell us whether I was paying attention to or not certain part during the study. Apparently, I was not paying attention to the advertisement right over here. This is the yellow line that is definitely going down. This is based on my eye tracking movements. Probably, let's see how this advertisement works for the aggregated data results. Again, this is just my individual results. So let's not focus on my results. We will see it in a moment, all the panelists. But before we do that, I would like to show you the construction of the study. So I'm going back to my presentation. And what I actually wanted to underline is that the study contained also an A/B test. So the first, what we observed was the planogram that we already kind of familiar with. And then there were two versions of the same package, which slight difference So the first one had the caption fresh and tasty. Meanwhile, the second one had the caption of pulp free. So let's say that our hypothesis, idea is that we need to show people that this is pulp free because somehow, I don't know, we know that the market doesn't like pulp in the juice anymore. So here I'm testing two concepts within the same study by making an A/B test. Then we had a video test and another video test. Each of them were followed by a survey. And then there's also an option to redirect panelists to finish URL that can be either a survey link, a panel provider link, or some additional, extended survey with any other survey provider. So this is also so let's just take a look on how this study was created in the platform. So since we already know how it's supposed to look like, this is how it looks in the platform. So it's actually pretty easy setup of a timeline where I can add my images or videos and set them in the order that I would like them to be presented. So for instance, first of all, the planogram was presented and it was set to be presented for maximum 10 seconds, minimum 3 seconds. And also this option to finish on click was enabled. So whenever someone clicked this area, the panelists were fast forwarded to the stimuli. Also, the survey was attached to this particular image. Have you found the product you usually purchase? So that's basically it. Then we had the A/B test. So both of different labels were put into the stimuli group, and each one of them had the same rules. So it was displayed for 6 seconds. There was no scroll, finishing on click, no key press, and also there was a survey with several questions in a row. Then, as you can imagine, there was this video advertisement, also with the survey, and another video advertisement with the survey. So if you would like to add some other content to the study, it's really nothing hard to do. It's not hard to do. Let's say that I want to add an A/B test with another planogram. So what I'm doing is just adding another version of the planogram, putting it on the top, creating an item group, dragging the item group to the top, dragging planograms to the item group, and selecting to just present one of these. So this is pretty easy UX, as you can imagine. Anyone probably from this webinar could do it. Okay, so we still have like 12 minutes of the presentation, so let's jump to the probably most interesting part, which is the data analysis. So let's see how people were interacting with the first stimulus, that was the planogram. So what we can actually see from the planogram, sorry, that was the first planogram that I just uploaded, and obviously it didn't have any data. So let's see the second one. So first of all, let's see the survey results. So have you found the product you usually purchase? 74% of panelists have found it. Again, the data was collected today. 30 panelists provided by panel called Prolific from UK-based panelists. So let's just see how the heat map looks like. So this is an actual heat map built from from fixations of the panelists. Let me just show you how the heat map is created. So first of all, let me just minimize the shadow and change the opacity to very low. We can observe that the heat map is built from dots, and every single dot represents a fixation, which is, let's say, an eye hit for this image. Whenever fixations are crossing, it's more dense. So since we know how maps are being created, we can just kind of like maneuver it. I'm not changing the data, I'm just changing the visuals of how the heat map is being created, as you can see. But that's just appearance. We can also create the fog map, view map, or any other. We can also enable the clicks part and the mouse movements, but that's just the visuals. What is the most important part is the data behind. So let's see. We're only interested in the very first 7 seconds. The average viewing time of this image was marked as 7. So let's see what was happening within the first 7 seconds and how much attention our product Minute Maid got. So within the first 7 seconds, 58%, I'm looking right now at the metrics, 58% of panelists have seen this envelope. Unfortunately, there were 0 clicks in the product. the average time to first fixations, the average time to first notice was around 1.9 seconds, and average time spent was 0.6. And we right now, what we can do is we can compare. So if that was an A/B test, we can compare whether different product packaging would capture more attention. If, let's say, we would like to see how the Simply Orange product performed, we can just go to the Simply Orange, just move the arrow of interest tool to Simply Orange and see how it performed. So in this case, average time to first fixation was 2.6, so it was a bit longer. So people were noticing the minute made faster. Therefore, it got 2 clicks, and the average time to first click was 6 seconds. So it was chosen more times than the minute made. Well, that's okay. That's just a sample study, so I'm not going to draw any conclusions out of the 30 results. By the way, I recommend what we observe from our customers is that they are trying to invite around 100 panelists for every typical quantitative study. Okay, similar things to the we can do similar things to the product packaging. We can see how it performed. We can see how people were looking at it in time. So for instance, how many of them have noticed the fresh and tasty, or the 100% orange juice, or the pulp free. That was important. We can save these areas for further research and export the data to some other third-party tools like Excel or anything like that. And last thing, before we run to the Q&A section, let's just see how the video advertisement performed. I'm actually quite interested if the attention from these 30 panelists were also kind of like dumped the same moment as mine did. So from the data from 30 panelists, there was also a slight dump of attention somewhere here, but apparently there is also some happiness invoked in the while looking at advertisement, and it started somewhere here, more or less, when this guy also smiled. So the theory of smile evoking smile is confirmed based on the 30 panelists. One more thing, there is an option to filter out panelists by gender, age, or perhaps tags. So we can tag panelists by some different sector, different subgroups, and then do the analysis based on, for instance, product non-users, so on. And of course, within the videos, the arrow of interest tool is also enabled, so we can observe how the attention was distributed on the video in time. So in case we have such a, let's say, image like this one over here, we can see how the attention was distributed over the box versus some other products, or even to see how it was distributed over the captions. We've observed several, let's say, product placement studies run with our platform on the videos. So basically, the imagination is the limit while using the tool. Basically, that's basically it, what I wanted to share. These are my helping slides. In case you would like to learn more about the K-coefficient, so the K-coefficient is the attention. I'll be happy to share the interview I made with one of the co-creators of K-coefficient, Krzysztof Kreis. There was a paper published in 2016 about distinguishing two types of attention. That's the parameter we've implemented into the platform. And I think that's a good moment to take some questions from the audience. So back to you.
Great. Thank you. I really appreciate that. It's a very, very robust platform you have there. So congratulations. And for anybody who is joining late, just as a reminder, this session will be available on demand as soon as it's finished, right here on this page. And you can also click that really big green button within the session page that says book time with me, and that'll take you directly to Adam's Calendly link. So you can put some time in his calendar if you want to. We have a couple of minutes for Q&A. So if you have any lingering questions, be sure to just pop them in the chat. Adam, I know you were showing us kind of a demo of how it looked to actually use the platform. Does it work on smartphones and tablets as well?
Yes. So the fielding, I'm not talking about the dashboard itself, but the fielding part can be also handled on smartphones and on the tablets. And it's very important to underline that there is no need to download any additional software. There's no need to install any additional plugins. So it works in any major web browser just as is. And thanks to that, the filtering process is way easier, especially for the panel providers that basically no one can sell anything dedicated. Just to one note, it's important to probably to prepare different images for smartphones than for the desktops, as smartphones are being handled vertically. But that's absolutely doable.
Yeah, that's nice to hear that you make it as easy as possible for people to access that way to download anything else. See one question here. What's the data quality, distribution, and success rate?
So let me start with the success rate. So as it is with usually with online research, with online studies, some of the panelists are not going to finish the study due to some unknown reasons. Of course, asking them to enable webcam, going through all the calibration process and validation process will slightly increase the success rate. So it will drop out. So we observe that the success rate is around 80-85%. So you can expect that out of every 100 that's going to enter RealEye link, having their webcam, let's say, ready to participate, around 15% will get lost, kill the tab, or just leave the study with unknown reason. So that's something to expect. And when it comes to the data quality, we have a system that it's grading the data quality based on several factors from 1 to 6. There's also an option to simply eliminate the panelists that we're not interested in by either ignoring the data from them. Let me just show you. So for instance, this is data quality, perfect, very good. Let's say that we want to remove this good panelist. We can also see while he or she was graded as good, not perfect. These are the ingredients of the data quality element. So in case we just want to remove it, then we can just ignore this such a panelist, not to be included in the further research. So just like that. Any other?
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for sharing that. And I know, getting to see your platform, obviously so robust, lots of options there, can be overwhelming to people sometimes, I imagine. Do you have a team who's kind of capable to jump in and be hands-on and be helpful for people during the process if they need a little guidance?
Oh yeah. Thanks for bringing that question. Actually, there is when you have a license active, or if you're still not our customer, then we have this chat right here on the bottom right. So we operate in 2 time zones. We have support in Europe and in the America region. So we can help you out if you are. We're not going to do any analysis for you, but in case you have any issues with the platform itself, or something is not working properly, or you just need some guidance, then we'll be here. And maybe it's also important to underline right now that we offer this 7-day free trial. We want to be kind of like as transparent as possible. So we don't want you to purchase software that is not relevant for you or that you're not going to use. So here, once you're on the homepage, you can just click the try for free button, register, and you're going to get a 7-day free trial license with no need to attach any credit card or anything like that. So if you're not satisfied, just remove your account. If you're satisfied, then just purchase the license and do the research.
That's great. I always love when you can get a free trial without having to put in your payment information, because I just don't trust myself to remember to end the trial if I want to, That's great. You guys make it easy for people. We have just about a minute left. So last quick question here. What is the average sample size for a quant study?
Sure. So I think I mentioned it during the presentation, but basically we observe that people are running either qualitative or quantitative research using our platform. The qual is mostly for user experience research. We also have this module to upload a mockup, so a fully clickable mockup, so you can create an experience of a website. You can also actually run your research on websites. I was not focusing on that since this is a product and concept testing rather than UX, user experience based webinar. So when it comes to the quantitative research, typical sample size is something between 90 to 100 per cell, so per every image. When it comes to qualitative, and sometimes it's just one, let's say 15 or 20-minute recording that is giving lots of value to the researchers.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for your time. That's all the time we have today, but really appreciate this demo. Like I said, for anybody who's joining late, you can watch this on demand or click that button and get in touch with Adam. But thanks so much, Adam, for sharing with us today.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye, everyone. See you in the next session.